Good morning, liveweatherblogs.com meteorologist Bob Acarfio, 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We have our tropical update for September 15th, 2010. Boy, we wake up this morning and what do we see? Two major hurricanes and almost a Hurricane Karl. I'll show you all of that in a minute here, but we have Major Hurricane Julia, Major Hurricane Igor, and then Tropical Storm Karl, although officially it'll probably make landfall as a tropical storm, but boy, it looked like it was a hurricane at landfall or very close, and I'll show you that in a minute here. Alright, first off we have Hurricane Igor. This was as of the 5 a.m. advisory, west-northwest 10, maximum sustained winds at 145. Probably a little less than that on the winds now. We've seen a little bit of weakening with Igor. Tried to make a run at Category 5 last night, and just didn't make it. And that could have been its peak last night. We'll have to see if it tries to get going again tonight again. But that could have been its peak, and we might see kind of little fluctuations in strength the next couple days. But as far as it getting close to Category 5 again, I highly doubt that. Track forecast, really nothing's really changed much. Should be west-northwest to northwest the next couple days. And then eventually, as it starts nearing Bermuda, it's going to start making that turn to the north. Now, where that turn begins will really depend on the effects on Bermuda. If this could slip about 100 miles east of Bermuda, boy, that would be great news because that would take them out of the strongest winds. Hurricane force winds extend right now about 50 miles from the center, and that should be about the same when it gets to Bermuda. It might be a little larger than that. So we really need this to slip east. If it goes a little west, it'll be on the worst part of the storm because the eastern side is the worst. Right now, my thinking is a little east of Bermuda. How far east? Hard to say right now. So Bermuda, you're definitely this is going to be a large storm. So tropical storm force winds, no doubt about it right now for them. As far as hurricane force winds, we're still kind of seeing how that goes, but I mean, it's looking like this could have a direct impact on Bermuda during the day on Sunday. So definitely, if you're on the island of Bermuda, start preparing here for Igor. It's going to be a big system, but right now my official track would be on the east side of this cone here, somewhere just to the east of Bermuda. Looking at the satellite view this morning, you could see not an eye wall replacement cycle. Looks like more like some dry air kind of getting entrained into this system. Especially on the northwest side here, and that's what it's looking like right now. So you can see the eye kind of shrinking. Maybe an eye wall replacement cycle might be happening as well, but if you look at the mimic, it kind of looks like more of a dry air scenario kind of getting into the circulation a little bit. So still a formidable hurricane, but a little bit of weakening. As you can see, the eye not as defined as it was during the overnight and early morning hours. And if you look at the mimic, this was overnight through early this morning. You can see that southwest portion of the eye kind of deteriorating a little bit as some dry air looks like it's kind of gotten into this system here. So almost, I mean, if you looked at this, almost looked like an eye wall replacement cycle might be developing. I'm still thinking it's more dry air, but we'll have to see about that during the day today to see what happens. And again, what's steering Igor? I'm not going to use some big words as busting trough, pumping ridge, all that nonsense. Basically what it's happening, one short wave here. So you saw Igor moving a little westward yesterday, but now that this short wave is diving down, kind of strengthening this trough a little bit today, you can see, we'll probably see more of a northwest than west-northwest today. The next couple of days, Igor is going to fluctuate between west-northwest and northwest as each of these short waves kind of move through. So this short wave today, we probably see more of a northwest move on Igor today. And then maybe tomorrow as this short wave as this short wave moves out, we might see a little more west-northwest tomorrow. And then we're going to wait for this next short wave here there's a big ridge here over the Gulf. So this is going to up and over the ridge and dive back down. So we'll watch this next short wave here in the central U.S. and the plain states here dive down. And again, each one of these is continuing this broad area of this broad trough here. So Igor will, as he keeps gaining latitude and each one of these short waves moves, it's going to keep pushing him more north, and then eventually he gets so high in latitude here that he's going to get one of these short waves will move through, and boom, off to the northeast he goes. So that's what we're going to kind of be defining the next few days, which side of Bermuda it goes on. Again, right now I'm thinking it's going to move just east of Bermuda. How far east? Unsure right now. But that's what's going on synoptically here. Again, models, everybody pretty much, Bermuda's in here somewhere. You can't see him. He's so many models here, but everything's pretty much tracking over Bermuda or just to the east. Still have the no gaps model off to the west here, but again, that's an outlier right now. But everybody pretty much, the consensus is still over Bermuda. And again, Nova Scotia is going to have to watch this middle of next week. Could be a really powerful extratropical system right in here. So Nova Scotia, especially the eastern end, you're going to be getting some of Igor's effects by the middle of next week. I mean, New Brunswick, sorry. I mean, Newfoundland. I can't get my Canadian places right. Newfoundland, the eastern end of Newfoundland here, extratropical as it converts into extra, could have a lot of effects there for Igor. Again, intensity models, we're looking like probably about a Category 2, weakening to a Category 2. We'll be starting to get that shear from that, from our trough. So southwest to southerly shear will be affecting Igor, and he should be down to about a Category 2, possibly still a Category 3, but I'm looking like a Category 2 as it passes by Bermuda. Specific model runs, I kind of froze this here to show you where the GFDL is. GFDL's been the farthest east model pretty much through this whole thing, and you can see here, here's Bermuda here, east of Bermuda as a Category 2 system. This would just catch the eye wall of Igor, so this would definitely give them some hurricane winds across Bermuda. So it needs to pass farther east than this for them to not have any effects, or minimal effects. GFS, pretty much the same thing, pretty much over Bermuda. And then off, and I told you, look at that, for Newfoundland here as we get towards the middle of next week. Could be a pretty powerful system. I'll be getting back to this in a minute, showing you these other systems that the GFS wants to develop. The Euro model, again, pretty much the same thing over Bermuda as it moves into motion here. You can see right here, and then just to the west of Bermuda, and then bang. So again, that's pretty much the tracks on Igor, and again, my thinking right now is just to the east of Bermuda will be my eventual track for Bermuda, and we'll have to, again, kind of waver between, near Bermuda or just east of Bermuda. I'll try to get that more pinpointed the next day or two. Tropical Storm Karl, well, this guy tried to become a hurricane. Again, I think it might have been a hurricane at landfall. The National Hurricane Center is probably going to have this officially a tropical storm, but it was starting to create a nice little eye feature there before it made landfall. Along the coast here of the Yucatan, just east of Chetumal, Mexico. And again, the official forecast track, it's going to have about 16 hours over the Yucatan, so it'll weaken down to a depression. And then it's going to have about 48 hours over the Bay of Campeche, which will give it plenty of time to strengthen back into a hurricane. I'm thinking Category 1 or 2 hurricane at landfall. And I'm thinking more on the southern end of this cone, probably near Tuxpan or just a little south, somewhere in this area south of Tampico. We have some high pressure will be building a little strong. We'll probably come west-northwest, and then it might even make a dive to the west or even west-southwest towards the end here. So maybe bringing it in somewhere near Tuxpan, Mexico. And again, plenty of time over the Bay of Campeche with light shear and warm waters for this to become a Category 1 or 2 hurricane at landfall. Looking at the, and look at this. I mean, you can see this storm just start to really develop just before landfall. And there was an eye feature starting to develop just as it made landfall. So if this had a little more time over the water, it definitely would have become a hurricane. Again, technically, it probably was a hurricane at landfall. And again, if we look at the, this is the radar out of Belize, you could see, put this into motion, you could see this eye starting to form right in here as it was making landfall. There it is, that eye feature. Very interesting. And again, wind shear, nice upper high over Karl right now, and wind shear should be pretty light as it moves into the Bay of Campeche. And again, should strengthen to a Category 1 or 2 hurricane before landfall. And again, we are protected over the United States by this high pressure. This isn't coming north, isn't coming to Texas. This time this one's going to the central Mexican coast. And again, model runs, again, west probably west-northwest, then west, and then maybe even west-southwest as it nears the coast. And these are all Clark Evans products. Again, intensity, LGM, which I follow the most, has it about a Category 1 at landfall. Now, look at this. What's up next? Major Hurricane Julia. What a surprise this was this morning. Maximum sustained winds 135, movement northwest at 10. This becomes our 4th major of the season. The good news is it's nice to see all these major hurricanes, and none of them are affecting the United States, which is just wonderful. It's nice to watch these systems and not have to worry about them coming to the United States. But anyway, quickly on Julia, not going to affect any land. We're going to have northwest, then ridge builds in west-northwest, and then over the weekend we'll start to make that turn as Igor moves to its north. Igor outflow will probably be affecting her at this time, and cooler water, so it should weaken down to a tropical storm as it gets towards the Sunday-Monday time frame. And again, Weather Underground model product. Again, you can see everybody's taking this guy out to sea. Not going to affect any land with Julia. And look at this. Just wanted to show you this morning. Just a beautiful satellite view. 2 eyes here. We have Igor, Julia. You can see the eye peeking out on Julia. And then here was Karl right over here. So just lined up. And again, it's nice to watch these systems not affect anybody in the United States. The only impact will be Igor with, again, high seas, rip currents, rough surf over the weekend for the East Coast. But besides that, none of these are going to be making an impact across the United States. Just wanted to show you Julia real quick here. And you can see here, look at that convection around that eye. Looks maybe it kind of weakened a little bit. Again, Julia might have peaked. You saw a nice ring around the eye, and now it's kind of getting a little bit tugged at here as it moves to the northwest here. Maybe getting some dry air wrapping around into the southern circulation here. So probably come down in a little intensity at the 11 a.m. for Julia, but very well defined hurricane. And again, looking at the bigger picture off the coast of Africa, we got one tropical wave here. This one we might have to watch down the road. This one could be developing as it gets closer to the Windward Islands, Leeward and Windward Islands later this week. We'll watch that one. Some of the models have that one eventually developing. And then a lot of the models have this one developing off the coast of Africa as well this week sometime. So 2 more systems to watch here. And as we just go back to the, I wanted to go back to the, let's see here, excuse me one second. I wanted to go back to the model runs here, the GFS, and as you can see here, GFS again has that system developing near the, almost like Karl, near the Windward Islands next week. And then we have another one off the coast of Africa. It's going to be interesting. The pattern's going to be shifting where once Igor moves out and Julia, we can see high pressure start to build a little stronger here. So where we had that broad trough over the east coast, high pressure over the Gulf Coast, that's going to switch where we're going to have high pressure kind of build in up in here. So a lot of these systems could get steered more westward. And if something gets into the Caribbean where we had that high pressure protecting the Gulf Coast, this could bring it more into the Gulf of Mexico. So again, long way off down the road, but just letting you know that the pattern might be changing a little bit. And where we've seen a lot of these systems going out to sea, that might not be the case as we head towards the later part of next week and the next couple weeks here. And again, you see that also on the Euro as well. Once Igor moves out, look at high pressure building in here. So instead of having that trough here and along the east coast, we have more of a ridge in here. And that could push these systems farther west. And here's that system off the east coast of Africa developing. So again, we'll have to watch that. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. It's been a long update. I appreciate it. A little bit of a cold today, so excuse for the my voice today. Stay tuned to liveweatherblogs.com for all your latest weather information. And I will have another update for you guys maybe later tonight. Or if not, I definitely have one in the morning, tomorrow morning. Have a good day. Bye-bye.